Alright, so what is up guys, it's Wardog3 here, and I'm not really known for football on this channel, but I've always been a fan of football, always have been, and you might not see many of these videos, probably this might be the only one, but I have a special tip and trick for you guys, for those of you who play the game, and I'm going to show you right here. So this only applies to the connected franchise mode, and this is how you boost your players' ratings. So I'm going to start out a new franchise, use the active roster here, and skip through this dumb tutorial. I've already seen that a gazillion times. We're just going to let the roster import, and we're not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to pick the Giants. Let's pick the Jets for the heck of it. I can show you guys pretty easy with this. Yeah, we'll start. It's not like I'm going to be using this franchise anyway, so let's just start wherever they want us to. So this is not very well known. I haven't seen anybody use this before, but I figured this out a couple days ago in my own franchise that I have, and we got to wait for the preseason to sim. Alright, well, it's simming pretty quick. Anyway, I found this out, and it turns out that, as you probably saw by the title already, you can boost your players' ratings or return them back to normal in connected franchise mode. And, you know, for those of you who are wondering why your players' ratings are so low, you know, when you get into the connected franchise mode, they're lower than the overall that you saw on the roster. There's a reason for that. And there's a reason that you can lower it, and there's a reason you can make it the same, and then there's a reason you can make it higher. So that's what the video here is for. You know, if you make your own franchise, or if you're in an online franchise or something like that, this can be pretty helpful to you, and basically improve your team, make their overalls higher. Obviously, that's always a good thing. So the preseason week is done here, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. If the F would stop spinning, please. Continue. Thank you. Alright. Alright, so you see here, what you want to do is notice how some of these guys, like Eric Decker, he's an 86 overall normally. So is Brandon Marshall, he's a 90 overall normally. I'm trying to find somebody who has a lower overall rating than they really do. I'm curious to see if there's anybody like that. No, but the thing is that if you have any lower overall ratings, alright, right here, I think Ryan Quigley might be an 87 or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys a couple examples of what I'm talking about. So what you want to do is, if you have an issue with some of your players' ratings, what you want to do is go into the manage, not the free agents, that's my fault. Don't go into the free agents. You want to go into the My Coach, or if you're the owner, go into the Coach's Schemes, and you'll notice here, obviously, I like Tom Coughlin's playbook because I'm a ground and pound, but that doesn't matter. You're going to see here that you have all these different types of traits and whatever for your different kind of things. Now, this doesn't really matter. I like to run the balanced offense and the attacking 3-4. That's me. But, alright, so here's where it gets tricky. You see how all these are assigned to a certain person's roster spot, as you see over here. So notice how there's wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. What you want to do is, Brandon Marshall, his type is a red zone threat, and he's the wide receiver 1. Eric Decker, he's a possession type of wide receiver, he's wide receiver 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our schemes, and we're going to find wide receiver 1 right here, and notice how it's set to speed. What you want to do is you want to set that to red zone threat, because that is what matches Brandon Marshall's trait. Wide receiver 2, you want to set it to possession. That matches Eric Decker's trait. And then watch. Notice how Brandon Marshall's a 96 overall now. He was just a 90 before. That's 6 extra points of rating. And then notice how Eric Decker was an 86. Now he's an 89. Can you imagine that? Just look at that. Just by changing your schemes, you can change the overalls of your players. And it's extremely helpful. So let's give you another example. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's a balanced type of quarterback. What do we have in our schemes? Now, I'm not a big fan of Ryan Fitzpatrick, but that's just me. We have a pocket passer. So, maybe if we change it, now this doesn't work every time, but sometimes it usually works when you change your scheme to match a player and increase their rating. It usually works. Sometimes it doesn't change, and very rarely does it decrease the rating. Well, let's change this to balance. Ryan Fitzpatrick was a 78 before. See, now he's a 76. So sometimes it doesn't work, but as you can see, it obviously works for 2 of your biggest wide receiver targets, which is important. And sometimes you'll have ratings that match, like Nick Mangold is a big mauler. And in my schemes, I have that set to big mauler. So obviously he's going to get a higher rating, or it's going to stay the same. Now let's check out, here's another example I like to use. Check out someone on the defense. Notice how Demario Davis is a middle linebacker, but he can also play left outside linebacker. So we're going to move him up here, and we're going to change, sorry Quentin Copels, we're going to change our left outside linebacker scheme to something else. Because obviously a middle linebacker can play a left outside linebacker. And notice what's going to happen here is he's a prototype, Demario Davis. So we're going to change this to prototype. And voila. Look at that. He gained 8 points. Probably 9. He probably went from an 82, 83 to a 91 overall. So obviously, if you guys haven't used this, it's extremely helpful, extremely important. Now, you guys, I showed you one that goes down, a couple that go up. Damone Harrison, I think he's one that also goes down if you change. He's a balanced defensive tackle. And on your schemes, you have it set to nose tackle, I believe. In the Jets, yeah. So if I change it to balanced here, unfortunately for him, his rating's going to go down. He's going to drop to an 88, as you see right there. But as you can see, it's inconsistent, but you got to find the right balance. And if you find the right balance, your guys, their overalls are going to go up, way up. So I showed you guys some offense, defense. Now I'll show you some of the specialists. Ryan Quigley, who's a very good punter, in my opinion. He's the clutch type of punter. So if we go into our schemes, I believe it's set on accuracy in the Jets schemes. I'm not sure. No, it's set on balance. So if we change that to clutch, Ryan Quigley, what's going to happen is he's going to go from an 84 to an 84. It's not going to change. It's not like it really matters, but that's the one example where even if you change it, sometimes it doesn't change. So obviously that's something else to keep in mind. Nick Folk, he's a clutch dude as well, so if we go into our schemes, obviously not our free agents. I keep thinking I'm the owner, so I keep going down to that third tab because I started out as Todd Bowles. If we change that to clutch, it doesn't really matter mostly with your punters, but or kickers, but you can still, make their overalls a bit higher. So we set that to clutch, and I'm not quite sure how Nick Folk's going to turn out. Alright, so he went up 1 overall. So that's always good. So I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about here. Make sure your schemes match with your players, because usually it'll give you ratings boosts or take their bad rating and bring it back up to their normal rating. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you are able to apply this tip and trick. And good luck. Hope you have good luck with this. I've only used this for the Jets. I haven't used this for any other team. Obviously, the Jets are not my favorite team. I'm a New York Giants fan. But I use the Jets in the connected franchise for a strange reason. but I tested it with the Jets a lot, and you get some pretty good results. I mean, who doesn't want a 96 overall wide receiver? So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Hope this works out for you. And I'm Wardog3, and I'm out of here.